Our world today is wealthier than ever, but not everyone shares in this wealth. Today's young business leaders are challenging this, changing the way we think about money, its power, and its purpose. This is a new generation. This is the new philanthropy. Alejandro Legorreta is one of Mexico's most innovative and adventurous investors. But he isn't just investing in the financial markets.
I think all around the world, entrepreneurs need to have this social conscience. But you will change the world of those persons in which you are helping, and that's very important. And then it will change your world also.
For Alejandro, his investments must have a much wider reach. And his intriguing mixture of business and philanthropy aims to build a better future for the poorest people in the country.
Our mission is to change the opportunities of a lot of children in Mexico. Good investments are wonderful, but nothing compares to a smile of a kid saying thank you after you have helped him have a different opportunity. My name is Alejandro Legorreta. I'm from Mexico City. I'm CEO, Chairman of Sabino Capital and co-chairman of Fundación Legorreta Hernández. Sabino Capital is a private investment firm created around 2007, and it's my financial arm in which I put together all the knowledge and all the opportunities to invest, mostly in the stock market. The characteristics of a good investor, I think, are patience, character, and obviously knowledge about what you are doing. If you are going to gamble, then you have to go to Las Vegas, and that's another world. The economy in Mexico, it's really well. But having said that, there's a lot of things that have to be done. And maybe the most important one, which everybody have to deal with, and entrepreneurs even more, is corruption. Because then with corruption, the rules of some basic things change constantly, depending how much you are gonna give a bribe or not. And then it makes more difficult the possibility to survive as a new company. Some people say it's around $100 billion per year related with corruption, but I will think it's much more. The only way to attack it is the rule of law and the social organizations and citizens realizing that the cost of a corrupt system could be huge. I think businessmen have to take an important step, and most people have to take an important step saying, we're not the same. Those people are stealing the future of our kids, and those people should be in prison. In Sabino Capital, we look for companies that at least doesn't make any damage to Mexico.
My name is Mario Gamboa. I am the CEO and co-founder of Intellimetrica, an analytics company where Alejandro is an investor. The company was founded 3 years ago. One thing that Alejandro saw in this company was the potential to push changes in the front of corruption. How? Well, what we do is process large amounts of data, and finding dirt requires a lot of effort. One of the things that we specialize on is in text analytics, and we process vast amounts of textual data. When we talked to Alejandro about that capacity, he became very interested. He said, well, what can we do to improve things in the country, to improve things in government with these types of technologies?
If you take out corruption, I think Mexico could easily be in the top 8, top 6 countries in the world in the next 20 years, for sure. But you have to take out corruption. With the corruption, that's impossible.
We are currently working with a government agency to try to facilitate the information flow on what is happening to journalists and how they get threatened and what are the crimes associated to journalists. I think that is one key example of what we're doing, how it is helping the country in a more general way and in a very pragmatic way.
What we spend in philanthropy in Mexico is less than 0.004% of GDP. To give you a perspective, Brazil is around 1%. In the States, it's around 3% of the GDP. So there's a huge gap. It has to help business people change their mind in which they see social causes and philanthropy. That's maybe the most important goal. If people don't change their mind in which they have to get involved in more not-for-profit organizations, Mexico is not going to develop in the way that we want.
Alejandro Legorreta is one of Mexico's most innovative investors. He believes by investing ethically and with a strong social conscience, he can help rid Mexico of the poverty and corruption which still afflict its society. At the center of his strategy and his motivation is his family.
This is a tribute to my family. Here is the most important area of my family, my 4 ladies, my wife Andrea, Alejandra, Andrea, and Ana Sofia. And this part of the family is where my energy comes from. It's the most important area of my life. This one, it's a photo that I like very much with 2 of the persons who I admire the most, Roberto and Alfredo Harp.
My name is Roberto Hernandez. I'm a former banker. Well, Alejandro was a lucky guy who married my youngest daughter.
I was really nervous at the beginning because it was a very important decision. I was really young. And if you assume that he was and he is a very important person, I was like, what am I gonna do? No? There's no way I'm gonna be able to impress him in any way. But after a couple of years, he started to realize that I was not just a guy who was trying to get there because of their position. But it took a while. He's a very smart guy, so I think he was analyzing me to see what I was made of.
I think that in a country like Mexico, there's a very clear connection. If you want to have the country that you are dreaming about, you need to have your feet in both parts, the social part and the business part. And I think more and more the sense of this social responsibility is growing in the new generations at the personal level and at company level. The challenge is to focus on what do you want to do.
I think Roberto Hernandez and Alfredo had a lot of influence in a philanthropic point of view because they are very efficient. They take seriously philanthropy. They try to measure how their investments are going. It's not just like, I'll give you the money and I'll forget about it.
Well, I'm Fernando Landeros. I'm president of Teletón in Mexico and Teletón USA also. Teletón is the largest rehab system for kids, for disabled kids in the world. And I've known Alejandro, I think for the last 15 years, more or less. He's a member of our board and he does many things, maybe mainly two specific things. One, he helps us do the operation to maintain the rehab system that we have. And the other one is that he's in charge of all the economic subjects of the foundation. He tells us what to do with the money that we reach on the donations, how to invest that money, how to make it last longer. And he knows that field very well. He's very wise in that field. Everything Alejandro does is in big dimensions. He never does small things or small projects, no? He's very wise to choose the most effective action. He chooses that effective action and he goes further and grows the dream into a huge project, no? So yes, Alejandro, I think his heart, his projects are as big as his heart and as wise as his mind. They started to talk to me about things that they were seeing, no? Things that they were feeling, mostly in the south part of Mexico. And well, at the beginning there were just ideas, promises, no? And they're all now realities.
My wife Andrea and I created the Fundación Legorreta Hernandez around 6 years ago. The boss in the foundation and in my family is my wife Andrea. So that's why I have a successful marriage and that's why the foundation is very successful. She takes the daily decisions and I'm co-chairman and I help her in the strategy point of view. The strategy of the foundation is to attack 5 different problems, which is education, health, citizens, knowledge, and entrepreneurs. Mostly in young people and mostly in the Yucatan Peninsula. In a philanthropic point of view, we're investing and our main bet is to children. Once you help one person, indirectly, you are having an important influence in their families. And if it's a small town, also in the total town. There are some cases in Yucatan, for example, in which they receive a scholarship to do their college. And this is the first member of that family doing college. Good investments are wonderful and I enjoy them very much, but nothing compares to a smile of a kid saying thank you after you have helped him have a different opportunity.
"20 million children and adolescents in Mexico live in poverty." Investor Alejandro Legorreta is pioneering a holistic investment strategy in the rural southern state of Yucatan.
We're doing a lot of projects in Yucatan in different areas. We just started one a couple of months ago in a very poor town called Ekbalam. We construct and now maintain a community kitchen for 350 kids. And that's very, very important because we were trying to do some other projects there, but we realized that those families were earning less than $1 daily. So it was impossible to do anything if they don't have their basic needs covered. Today's menu will be pasta, chicken, and salad. And then they will have a dessert, maybe with a glass of milk. So that's very important for us. If this didn't exist, we couldn't guarantee for them to have one protein per day, at least one animal protein per day. It's very common to find here a mother with a baby of 2 months old giving him Coca-Cola in a regular basis in order to keep him fat and in order to keep him awake during the whole day. So that's why the nutrition problem here is kind of different, not in a traditional point of view of starting, it's much more in an obesity kind of view.
Mi nombre es Carlos Alfredo Coyoc. Yo tengo llevando 20 años trabajando como apicultor. De los 15 años, compra de armas pues los vendíamos en tambos de 300 kilos a un mínimo precio de 30 a 25 pesos. En ese momento pues la fundación ya nos dio otra visión de que envasando nuestra miel a la presentación de 330 gramos.
When we first met them, they were earning 1/10 of what they are earning now. But we realized they were really hard-working people. So we helped them putting in order their accounts. We helped them to have a trademark. So after that and a lot of work and a couple of years, now they are swimming by themselves. They are sustainable. So that's a very good example related with one of the pillars of the foundation, which is enterprise. It's micro-enterprise maybe for us, but for them, it's total enterprise.
Y que vamos creciendo poquito a poquito y que ahorita ya es un trabajo más eficiente. La idea del grupo es llegar a vender a nivel nacional y en futuro tenemos el objetivo a largo plazo vender de fuera de México.
Well, more investments in the Mexican economy will create more opportunities and eventually more spending and investing and eventually more growth. So it's like a virtuous cycle. So I think Saisal is a perfect example of a lot of small towns that we have in Mexico in which there's a great opportunity for investments, but also you need the time and the passion of businessmen in order to partner them in a sustainable way. So our approach here in Saisal was in a holistic point of view also. First, we opened a restaurant like 6 years ago, in which we help fishermen to sell their products in a fair value price and also in a sustainable fishing way. Second, with that we attract much more tourism, in which are going to demand English-speaking people. We're opening a community house in the town, in which we're going to give computer skills and also English skills, so they will be able to give the service to those persons, which it will take us, I think, like 10 years, but then it will create this 2,000 people village in a very nice and sustainable place. Someone can come and create a huge development, destroy the place, and leave. We're not on that. We're investing time with locals, and I think the future comes investing in sustainable developments in which you protect nature and you help others to have better opportunities. Esto es para que bailemos. Baile usted conmigo, baile conmigo, baile conmigo, baile conmigo. Baile usted conmigo, baile usted conmigo.
I think now Alejandro is doing an incredible work for our country, no? What he fights for education, or what he does in building economic opportunities for people with very low income, it's really incredible, no? That's the way he does philanthropy, not as someone who just gives or takes a decision from a chair or from a very elegant office. He goes to work, he knows people, he knows their name, he knows what they can do, and he's very close to the people.
I definitely think Alejandro can have a huge influence in Mexico. And he's a smart guy. He's not doing it alone. Nobody could do it alone in this country. It's because of his vision. It's because he has been able to identify the right components out there and connect them.
Con Alejandro es más que nada darle las gracias, porque pues gracias a ellos ya estamos cambiando. Está más que nada la esperanza de que ellos, o sea, de lo que nosotros crezcamos.
My advice to young entrepreneurs in Mexico is to believe in your country, to protect nature, and to make investments in the long term. Get really involved with people and help them develop and get a better type of life. With that, in the long term, it will be more profitable to you also. And everybody win.